Crafters. This is Raquel with Paints and Glitter. Today I'm introducing you to the Shopping the High Street Spinning Box die set. This is a really beautiful die set that's going to create, as it has described, a spinning box. However, this box can be created several different ways. There are so many different options, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. This has 43 different dies, and the box in and of itself is going to measure maybe about 5 inches tall. So I'm going to walk you through the dies that will be included, and then we're going to make one together. And the first thing that I'll point out is that it does have a hexagonal shape. So it's going to have a lid and a base to it that's going to be in that shape. And then to create the side panels, you're going to have a piece that looks like this. This is a larger side panel. There's going to be actually a smaller one as well. But this one here, along with the layering pieces that you see here, are going to allow you to create a window aperture right into your side panels, or you can keep them solid and actually layer on top of those panels. And this one here has this little brick style design, and then there's this design here on the edge that I'm going to point out to you. This is the one I'll be using today, and it does have stippling all the way around. This one coupled with this one here actually also creates a different design that is absolutely stunning. And if you use it with the little window aperture that is here, you can create another design. So that's 3 different designs there that you can make just using those dies, and that's without including all the rest. However, over here you're going to see another panel, and this one here has 3 edges. This is going to be for the smaller of the hexagon boxes that you can create, and this one will insert into the larger one, and that's what's really unique about this box. I think you're gonna just be really fascinated by it because it's so cute. So this piece here creates an edge. You'll be using that, and you do have 3 options there on how to decorate onto that if you would like to, or of course you can combine any 3 of those. And then it has a little hinge that you can cut out for your lid if you choose to make it in that fashion. It has another little window piece here that you can use to decorate the outside of the box. 2 different types of windows here. This is the one that looks more like a glass window on top, and then this one here has the little curtains. And this over here will also decorate your lid if you choose to do so, or even the bottom of the box. That's up to you. Again, with the little bricks. There are pieces of ivy. There's a little latch closure that you'll be able to cut out. Little flowers, and then the sentiment here reads, "You are absolutely the best." It does come with a shadow, so that's always a bonus to be able to have that. Then when you flip this over, this is where it gets really interesting, because it also has this piece here. I will describe how you'll use this, and this is actually just to create the opening of your large box. It makes it super easy. The sides of this die do not cut, and whenever you see that in a Tonic Studios die set, it means it couples with another. So what I mean is that this big die here actually partners up with this big hexagon over here. So just ignore the smaller ones. It partners up with that big one, and with that you'll create the opening of your large hexagonal box. But back to these panels, let's take a look at these. There's this one here, and this one looks really interesting. Well, what it creates is actually a little awning for your little box, because you're going to be able to create what will look almost like a little street market or a store, and it's just absolutely adorable. There are layering dies to decorate that. There's actually a little open sign that you can place on the outside. There's this little die here that you can use to decorate your box in any way that you like. And then come the options of the different types of shops or scenes that you'll be able to create into this box, or use them separately and make a card, and it's going to be so cute. So let's start here on the upper left in no particular order, of course. There's a toy shop. It has a little balloon, streamers, stars, another little teddy bear holding 3 little balloons there. And then there are little blocks and toys, what you would, of course, see in a toy shop. There's this one here. It's an ice cream shop. It has little cones, ice cream sundaes on a table, little ice creams up here, both with little scoops or the soft serve. Very pretty. This one here is actually upside down. This one states plants and flowers, and then it has the hanging plant, little plants on the table, another little kind of bush here or sprig on the side. There's the little fork and the little utensils there for planting. This one here has a lamp, 2 picture frames. It states open here, and it has another tall lamp here, and then a bookshelf. This one says bakery, has 3 little cupcakes, has bread in a little basket down at the bottom here, and a little cake kind of off to the side, and a lattice top. Very pretty. This one says sewing shop. It has a little banner, sewing machine, a bodice, some fabric inside of a little basket. This one is a little seating area, and this one's a little different because it's domed at the top, so you can use that separately, whichever way you like. Cut into another background, whatever scenery you want to. But it has 2 little chairs and a very simple little table there. Then down here, there's one with an antique lamp. There's a little house in the background with a plume of smoke, a little tree, a picket fence, and then along those same lines, this one has a tree, a table with 2 glasses. That could be really beautiful for an anniversary maybe. And then this one has some little streaming lights up here, some trees, a path, and then a bicycle at the bottom. So let's start getting into what pieces you will need. By the way, I'll be using classic card and apricot orange along with ivory white. These are 8.5 by 11 papers. They come with 10 sheets in a pack, and they have a weave texture on one side, smooth on the other. So if you want to color onto these, use your Nuvo products, you can definitely do that. The other thing that you can do is that you can get these packs from Tonic Studios, of course, directly. You can make them, of course, in any color that you like. This just happens to be one that a combination I wanted to make. And I'll be supplementing it with some really beautiful floral paper from Tonic Studios. So what I'll do first is show you the large panels that you'll cut. I had mentioned these, and you'll be cutting 3 of those. Okay. Once you cut those 3, as you can tell, mine have a little window in them. So how will you do that? You're going to guys that I had mentioned that layer into this panel here. And what you'll do is that you're going to take the largest, you're going to take the medium one, and then you're going to take that little window panel. And you're going to bring this over to your die cutting machine. Before you run the panel through, you're going to remove the larger 2 because those were just for placement. And then you're going to run it through with that little die right there. So you'll repeat that 3 times. And this is going to allow you to have a little window into the scenery that you're then going to create with those dies that I just showed you. And of course, if you want to, using those dies I just shared with you, cut into another color card if you want to. Okay? So using all 3 of them together is what I mean. Okay? And then you're going to be able to decorate this. Now, if you use only the outermost one, and it does come in both that stippled one and the solid one, so it's up to you what edge you like. But if you only use that large one, then you can create little panels that are going to decorate the other side here. Okay, super simple. So we'll get started. I'm going to adhere these together and then come right back and we'll continue. Once you have your panels adhered onto your large rectangles here, as you can see, they're all exactly the same. What you're going to want to do is make sure you fold along the little tab on the side and also make a mountain fold right in the center. Do that on all 3. And then that die that I had mentioned that would be your base and the lid, your first going to just cut the outermost die there. It creates that base just like this. Go ahead and fold all of the little tabs on the sides as well. And then using both of those together, you're first going to want to cut the larger one, of course. Once you've cut that one, then place that second die right inside of the cut paper. You're going to be able to achieve this piece here. And now what you're going to do is take one of your panels and follow the sides of that panel with the tabs of that lid. So just place your adhesive along that edge if you'd like to. Okay, this is going to make it easier. And then line this up and then fold over your little tabs so that it meets exactly along that edge. And of course you can use a bone folder to help you apply a little bit of pressure there. Once you're sure that it's completely lined up, yep, then go ahead and just press on it. And then move on to the next edge here. It's a very thin line of glue is all you're going to need. And then roll over that hexagon and have it meet that edge as well. And verify it on both sides. And you're going to be doing the same thing with that bottom. So if you would like to, you can get yourself started and line up that second hexagon. So just take your little bead of glue and bring that little rectangle or hexagon. Bring your little hexagon as close down to the edge here as you can, avoiding, of course, that little beveled edge there. Burnish that as well. And once you have that side secure, then follow the next one. To add your second panel, go ahead and place adhesive on the largest tab first. And then grab your little panel here. Take advantage of that opening with that little window and then just hold on to that, making sure that it makes contact at the bottom and then all the way up. You want to make sure you match up those beveled little feet, if you will, to your box, and then it'll be easier to adhere it all the way to the top. Then you can kind of open this a little bit, so you can hinge this back if you need to. There we go. And then apply pressure on that portion here first. Make sure it makes nice contact there. Making sure that that little corner is butted up right up close to that. Then I'll apply my pressure. You can get a nice clean edge. Bottom one first again. way to the corner there. I'm just going to go all the way to the edge. Once those two panels are secure, of course, we're going to do the third. We already learned, place the adhesive on that large tab first. Get our little panel folded up a little bit first. Okay. Get that bottom corner or edge nicely placed there first. Follow it all the way to the top. So it's definitely going to be a step-by-step where you want to complete it in this manner. It's going to make it a lot easier for you. If you want, you can definitely burnish it like this. It makes it easier once it's almost dry. You really don't want to do it when it's wet still, but when it's almost dry. Use that little window again. And use that little aperture again to hold that paper as close to the corner as you can. Those little angles are going to be really important to give you a nice, clean, professional looking finish on your project. So the other thing I would recommend, of course, is that you cut out all of the pieces to your project before you start your assembly. That's going to be very important so that you get the placement correct on some of these pieces as well. I'm just going to apply a little pressure there to make sure that that makes full contact. I'm going to apply the adhesive on this top portion, that little tab. Place it down. Make sure you pull that into the corner again. I'm going to lift this and apply some adhesive there. Just running the tip of my bottle right over that, and then allow those two pieces to join together. Okay, an alternative, of course, is to adhere all of these panels first, then decorate them. That way you could hide this last tab because you would actually adhere it on top of the first one. So that is an option if you want to go that route. I don't think it's going to ruin anything, and it will likely be easier for you to get a very, very precise finish here at the bottom, because mine is a tiny, tiny bit off, but I don't think that that's going to ruin my piece. It's not bothering me right now. So I'm just going to continue on. Just like to be completely honest as to how I build my projects. So I've now got this little box here. As you can see, it's got that opening on the top and it's got little openings on the sides. So what can you do with this? There are some options with this, and that is to add little awnings if you would like. The die for the awning cuts out this little piece. It has a tab on the top that you fold away, has a little tab on the side that's at an angle that you fold away, and on the opposite side as well. It's got that gorgeous little scallop bottom, and then it has another little score line here on the sides also, and those you can also fold away from you very gently. Do the same thing on the other side, and that's going to create this little 3D awning. You can also decorate that awning with a layer, and there is a decorative layer that will cut into this if you don't want a solid, but I'm going to keep mine just like that. So I'm going to adhere my little decorative portion first. I think I'm going to put this toward, kind of toward the top. And that's going to give me an opportunity to kind of decorate that little scallop at the bottom there. So the little 3 tabs will adhere to the base of your box. And because there's a window opening, I think it is absolutely darling. So I'm going to first use the largest tab and line it up with the very top here. Now I'm going to glue the other 2 little tabs, and those are going to be positioned right like so. And it's up to you if you want them to kind of open up a little bit. Depends on the style that you like. All right, I'm just going to hold them there. Okay, so that's one awning. You'll repeat that on the other 2 windows if you would like to. So I will be doing that, and I'll be right back. Now that you have your little awnings placed on your little box on all 3 sides, if you'd like to, you can go ahead and set that aside, let it dry. Then you're going to grab 2 more hexagons and cut them the same way that you had cut that bottom one. Only instead of adding that circular die in the center, just go ahead and take the smaller hexagon that's in your set of die, cutting out that panel 2 times. Then take the small one and match your corners. So each hexagon has 6 corners. Match all of those. Run that paper through your die cutting machine 2 times. And you're going to get a hexagon that looks like this, with the little tabs on the sides and then the opening in the center. You're going to fold all of those tabs. You're also going to use the die in your set that looks like this. It's long. It has a fold line in the center and a little tab at the end. Go ahead and cut that 3 times. And I've already placed my layering piece on mine. It does come with 3 different layering pieces that I showed you. So it's up to you how you decorate that. Go ahead and make your fold lines. And then take this strip, join it with the other 2 by adhering those little tabs one to the next. Now this is going to adhere on the side of these hexagons. So you're going to walk this all the way around on the top, and then you're going to repeat that with the second one on the opposite side. Take your long tab here and apply it onto that strip. And again, if you want to wait to decorate the last one, you can do that so that you can hide that little tab. It's up to you. Apply adhesive to the second one. Make sure the corners meet. You're kind of pulling that corner in a little bit as you press the papers together. I'm not going to adhere that last tab just yet. I'm now going to apply the second one. So I'm going to do the same process where I'm just taking one tab at a time. And making sure that it meets that strip of paper. So I'm going to apply adhesive on each one, and then I'll be right back once I have most of this adhered. So I did apply tab by tab. I applied adhesive, got that adhered all the way along, just making sure that I applied a little bit of pressure with my finger, just like that, very gently. Now I have only one tab left to go. So in this case, I'm going to apply adhesive on both sides here and on that little tab, which I'm just going to feed right into here. Let's press it right like so. Just apply gentle pressure there, making sure that you're not pushing on that paper too hard. That way you don't get any bend or creases in your paper. And you're going to have something that looks like this. So you can set this one aside to dry. And you're then going to be cutting 6 panels that look like this. So for these panels, what I suggest is that once you get them cut, take the topmost tab and fold it toward you. So that's a valley fold. And then the other 2 tabs, which is one on the right, one on the bottom, fold those as mountain folds. So you can do that all the way around. All the decorative little panels that I had described, which I happened to cut in several different scenes. I also cut them in both the majestic gold and in this apricot orange color that I'm using. So of course you can cut these in any manner that you prefer, because you're essentially creating a scene. And for instance, I think it would look really cute to have this one, which is a little shop here, and then this one next, a little shop here, maybe this one next, little shop here, and then another little scene. So I'm going to adhere all of these panels together, and then we'll start our assembly. So the reason I did them like this is just to create contrast. So I just cut my panels out of the 2 different colors. Then of course you can go back in and add any kind of Nuvo drop that you like. You can cut it out and use either vellum in the background or use mirror card, whatever will suit your fancy, because these are the scenes that you're creating. So once I have these adhered, I'll be back and we'll start the assembly of the second box. Now that you have all of your panels decorated as you wish, and of course you can keep some of these solid, you can cut into the background, whatever colors you like. I've gone ahead and also layered a little bit of gold cardstock and right behind some of those little portions just to make it stand out even more. Then you're going to take the smallest hexagon in the set, and what I suggest is that you take your paper and either apply double-sided tape as I've done here, or you can use a liquid tape, of course, or I'm sorry, liquid adhesive, and then run a bead along the edge. So by the way, if you want to use Nuvo drops on these panels, you can definitely do so now. But what I would suggest is that you take the pretty side of the paper and face it down, and then put your adhesive on the other side. And now you're going to take all of these tabs and making sure that your pretty panel's facing out, you're going to go right along the edge here. And you're gonna, of course, follow this all the way around. And what I'm going to do is place them on here first, then adhere the sides. And I think it's going to make it easier. And it's also going to help me know which order I want to place these in. So this is why I'm doing it in this method. Okay, there's one here. It almost tells a little story. That's what I like about this set. So you can create your own. So there's that. Make sure that, of course, it's looking good on the other side. I've put a little bit of glue on my surface here. So, okay. So it's looking pretty here. All of the edges meet correctly. That's when you want to make sure you verify that, of course. Okay, that looks good. Yep. And now, oops, you want to make sure that that did adhere. Apply some pressure, use your bone folder if you need to. Then I can flip this over and cover these edges up. Make sure that is pretty side up as well. And then we'll continue by adhering all of the sides. Once you've gotten to this point and all of these sides are adhered, you're going to take the hexagon that you had created and you're going to pick essentially what's going to be the bottom. That's where you'll adhere this piece, making sure that all those little corners meet properly. Just like so. And of course, if you're going to do any kind of stamping or a little message, you would have wanted to do that before placing this little bottom piece on. I think it'd be a great idea in case you're adding any contact details for craft fairs and the like. I think that would be a good place to add that type of information. So now I'm just gonna go along very gingerly and make sure that these tabs are meeting up where they should. And here you don't want to apply a terrible amount of pressure because of the fact that this is hollow in the center and you don't want this to cave in. Okay, once you're happy with your placement, just make sure you verify from the top, and that's when you can do some little adjustments. Maybe you need to bring a little tab closer to the center and the like. And you can always add more adhesive if you feel you need it. Okay, once you're happy with that, you have a nice size little container here. But of course, we want to make it a little bit of a surprise as to what the recipient will be able to get if you're using this as a gift box. So the intention here, of course, is to place this now inside of the larger one that you created. So that should fit perfectly right on top. And then, of course, we want to close this off. So all you would need is yet another little hexagon. And to adhere this, you have a little hinge here that you would have cut with a little die that's included in the set. This is one option. You can add a larger lid with just the larger hexagon and then just cut away the little tabs that go all the way around. Place your little hinge right in there. I'm going to place this pretty side down because I'm going to double mine up. Place adhesive here on that little hinge. Place my paper pretty side down here, just meeting that edge. Of course, we want to be able to open and close this, so that's where the little latch will come in. It has the 3 little pieces. They look like that. Meet in the middle, and I know they're very small, but there is a little full line that you can just press with your fingernail if you can. You can always use the side of a metal ruler. So I use my fingernails. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, but those are going to meet in the middle so that this has a place to latch onto. I'm going to apply a tiny little drop of adhesive just on the little portion here that has the hole in the center. I'm going to join those two together. And I'm going to make sure the pretty side of the paper, this is the gold mirror card, is facing up. Okay, it's kind of like a little butterfly. I'm going to apply more adhesive on the bottom there. Hopefully you can see that. Just a little drop will do. And I am going to use my tweezers because this is small. And I want to make sure that this is centered and pretty after all this hard work, right? So I'm going to place it just like so. And hold on to that for a moment. You kind of nudge it a tiny little bit to make sure it's centered and that it's nice and straight. Then I'm going to take that long piece, place it right on top, and then make sure that there's adhesive so that it makes contact with that little lid. These come in handy whenever you're crafting because they're so nice and thin. Okay. So place your little latch right on top. This ruler creates resistance there, but it won't be too heavy. Okay, and then press onto that. And that's going to give you that perfect surface there. Of course, you want to hold on to it so that it doesn't move. So also make sure you placed it nice and straight. Okay, once that makes some really good contact there, you can remove your metal ruler and then place a pretty piece of paper on top. And it's going to make it a little more sturdy, of course. With this gorgeous floral paper. I'm going to actually lift this up to open it. And then apply my paper right on top. Make sure the edges meet perfectly. Of course, it's up to you how to close this. You can use a piece of cord, a piece of ribbon. I'm just going to take a piece of this cord that I happen to have. It has gold just intertwined there, and that'll feed right through it. The little gold piece wants to pull away, but there we go. Create your little bow. Just like that. It'll fit right inside. And it creates such a lovely presentation. Well, this is the end result. Here's what I've done on the top, just to show you very quickly how easily you can decorate using the vines and the little flowers that are included in the set. And on the front, I had mentioned that I wanted to finish decorating the little eaves here. What I've done is use little diamond dots all the way across in 2 different colors. Then I also added the ivy in 2 different colors here. This is just the ivory card from Tonic Studios, and this one is one of the green from the Glorious Green collections. It's a satin card that you can get from Tonic Studios. So I'll leave the names of the papers that I've used, of course, in the description bar of this video. But this is one of the lighter greens. It's so very beautiful. And I've gone along also in certain little areas and added a little bit of the White Blizzard Nuvo glitter drops. So I did use that throughout just to add a tiny little bit of shine, as well as one of the glitter gloss Aquaflow pens from Tonic Studios. I really like using that pen just to add a little bit of shimmer here and there. So I've done that along the sides onto the leaves, and I'm so happy with the results. Then what I did to make the little images kind of stand out a little bit more on this insert is that I did use Nuvo drops in different colors on different panels, as well as the mirror card that I had mentioned that you can layer, and some little diamond dots. Here you get to see I did combine different colors here, and then also added some glitter drops. Those happen to be in the color Honey Gold, and because the paper was that apricot orange, that's just the combination at the end result. Here's a little bit more of that gold glitter drop. The same here on the little mirror, and then I did add some Nuvo drops here. This happens to be in the color Seashell Pink. It's a more matte finish, so I did use that for the little books and the light, the little lights here as well. And then I just added little drops on that bicycle. So very pretty, and that's what I love about these projects, is that you can give them your own personal touch depending on what it is that you like. So here is another sample. This one has the second style of window that I had mentioned all the way around. This one also has the ivy going around the sides, only this time I did the little flowers in gold and in pink, and the window that has the little curtain. And that window I also went ahead and backed up with acetate. So this one will take a votive inside, and it'll fit very nicely because it's nice and large. I also placed the sentiment on top. It says, "You are truly the best." There you see I did it in a rose gold satin card from Tonic, and then also backed it up in the same color as the box. There you also see more of that ivy, more little flowers. I did place a little bow here on the top. This one closes just with a little knot here, and it doesn't have an insert. This is just the lid of it, which I had mentioned you can make it in more than one style. So if you untie this, and I believe, yes, the closure here is different as well because I placed it on the front here rather than the top. So if you see, I placed the hinge here, and then I did create the same type of lid, only I left it solid and then added the layers on top rather than making it hollow. So it gave me that same height, but of course now I can place nice big chocolates inside of this, or an even larger gift, of course. And as I explained, also the votive. Lastly, I had tons of fun creating a Christmas version. So here is the top, and I had mentioned this panel here that cuts out all of those little bricks. So what I've done there is cut it out of red mirror card from Tonic Studios. The other here cardstock that has all of this holly is actually just from my personal stash. What I did was that I made little bits of it stand out using that glitter drop. So I did use this throughout. Now the sides here of the lid I wanted to show you because I had mentioned that there was more than one way to decorate that side, and this is one of the options. So I did use green mirror card, and then on top of that I used the chili red card from Tonic Studios. That's what I've used throughout here. And I just thought that looked so very pretty. Then here I did do 3 solid panels. The solid ones I decorated like so with that little eave there that's just solid onto the background. Then I did place a little wreath. This happens to be from the little house die set, so if you happen to have that, you can definitely incorporate that, of course, mix and match your dies. Here is the little eave that goes along with the little windows that I created. This time I left them with a solid panel, and here you get to see the little sign that says open. I just created that with white card that I decorated with the glitter drop, and then the open sign is actually with the red mirror card from Tonic Studios. So the inside of this one, however, oh my gosh, I just love the way it turned out. By the way, I did place a little magnet in here, so it actually sticks to the bottom, which is really neat. Then here's the close-up of the little side panels that I'm going to give you. I did them all in red and white, and then with little touches of gold here and there. And I also colored in the panels this time using both glitter markers as well as Nuvo drops from Tonic Studios. So you get to see there the little ice cream shop. It just comes to life when you add the little details that you can do with whatever medium you prefer. I happen to love the different types of Nuvo drops because some of these are scented, some of them are more opaque than others, and it's just a lot of fun to make use of them and make the project stand out a little more. And then here, the seating area, which was not in either one of the other boxes, I wanted to use, but I wanted a Christmas scene behind it. So what I did is I used one of the smaller little Christmas trees that you can actually cut out using a panel from the Advent House collection. So I did cut this one down, and in fact I cut the tree down a tiny little bit at the top there, and then I just decorated that with little Nuvo drops and that glimmer pen I had mentioned, and that completes this project, which I think is absolutely stunning. I love the combination. I love the fact that you can switch around the little panels and create your own little scene, as I had mentioned before. So I, of course, will take pictures to share, but I hope that this video tutorial has been helpful to you. Let me know which one is your favorite. I love reading your comments, and let me know, of course, if this has been helpful to you. As I always say, I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.